Summary: the Prophet taught that if someone is manumitting a slave owned by two masters, they should do so completely and not partially, provided the person has enough money to pay for the slave's price. The hadith is about freeing slaves and the importance of being fair and just when doing so. Sahih al-Bukhari 2521. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet said, "Whoever manumits a slave owned by two masters, should manumit him completely, not partially, if he is rich after having its price evaluated." Explanations. This hadith teaches us about the importance of freeing slaves in an appropriate manner. The Prophet Muhammad taught that if someone is manumitting a slave owned by two masters, they should do so completely and not partially, provided the person has enough money to pay for the slave's price. This shows us how important it was to free slaves in Islam and how it was encouraged even if one had to spend their own wealth on it. It also teaches us about justice, as both owners must be compensated for their loss of property. Furthermore, this hadith also highlights how slavery was seen as an institution which could be abolished through financial compensation rather than through violence or force. Sahih al-Bukhari 2522. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar, Allah's Messenger said, "Whoever frees his share of a common slave and he has sufficient money to free him completely, should let its price be estimated by a just man and give his partners the price of their shares and manumit the slave. Otherwise, i.e. if he has not sufficient money, he manumits the slave partially." Explanations. This hadith speaks to the importance of fairness when it comes to manumitting slaves. It is narrated by Abdullah bin Umar, who was a companion of Prophet Muhammad. In this hadith, Prophet Muhammad explains that if someone has enough money to free a slave completely, they should estimate the price with a just man and give their partners their share of the price before freeing the slave. If they do not have enough money, then they should free them partially. This hadith teaches us that fairness is important even when it comes to something as difficult as freeing slaves. We must be sure that everyone involved gets what is due to them in order for justice to be served. Additionally, this hadith also teaches us about compassion. Even if one does not have enough money to free a slave completely, they can still make an effort towards freeing them partially, which shows kindness and mercy towards those who are enslaved.